Greetings from Bloomington, Illinois. My wife and I moved here in 2014 and had previously lived in Burlington, Iowa for nearly 20 years. Some of you have just finished another term with me, and some of you have previously finished a term with me, and some of you I've never yet met. I really want to get acquainted with you. I like to know my students as people, not a number. So please fill out that Let's Get Acquainted section and let me know who you are and a little bit about you. I'm your professor for this class that I am very excited about ministry, leadership, and staff relationships. It's going to be a stimulating and thought-provoking journey that we will take over these coming 8 weeks. There's some really excellent reading assignments. There's stimulating discussion board questions and so many learning opportunities as we interact with each other and read and fulfill assignments. You're going to be challenged to think and pray, search the scriptures to build a biblical foundation for your leadership convictions and staff relationships, whether you're a paid person or a volunteer. We need to have a biblical model of leadership. That's what excites me about the resources that we have for the class. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. Oh, by the way, the class is built around character, and enough said for the moment. I am a graduate of Moody Bible Institute, Dallas Theological Seminary, and I earned my doctorate at Trinity Evangelical Divinity School up in Deerfield, Illinois. One of the lessons my dad and mom taught me as a child, I just remembered as warp and woof there on the farm, that learning never stops. It's a lifelong process. And I'm thankful for their impetus for me to be a lifelong student. And I congratulate you on being a student this stage of your life. They were the primary lay couple in the planting of a church in 1940 on a country gravel road. That church continues to thrive, and God has blessed it so much. But what a heritage I have because of that. They had a passionate love for the Lord Jesus Christ. They were farmers, shall we say, on the side. They appreciated the multifaceted ministry of Moody Bible Institute, and when I was a kid, they were thrilled with what Moody was doing around the world to spread the gospel when so many other organizations were still asleep and focused here in the States. My older brother and his wife are graduates of Moody Bible Institute. My sister is a graduate of Moody. We have 3 children, and they and 2 of their spouses are graduates of Moody. One didn't quite make graduation. 2 of our grandchildren and their spouses are graduates of Moody. We have another grandson enrolling in Moody next fall. God has given me such a rich heritage at Moody. My life was shaped by what I learned at Moody. I am thrilled that I have this privilege to be your instructor this term. I began my ministerial journey as a 19-year-old student at Moody. After coming home for the summer, a pastor friend who was about 10 years older than me asked me to come over after we got the farm chores done some evening, and I did. After the chit-chat and getting up to date with each other, I was stunned by his purpose for me visiting him. He was aware of a small village church that had voted out a mainline denomination, and they needed a pastor. His question, would you consider being the weekend pastor for that congregation? I was stunned, to say the least. Out of respect for him, I agreed that I would fill the pulpit one Sunday. but I made no further commitments. So a few Sundays later, I preached, and shortly after that returned to Moody. And it was in September 1962 I received a letter from them. Yeah, no texting, no email, none of those things, saying, would you be our pastor? I continued there my last 2 years of Moody and continued for another 4 years. But the week after graduating from Moody, I married my college sweetheart, Judy Crawford, and we are celebrating 55 years of marriage this year. We're ministry partners committed to serve the Lord together, and we serve the Lord together. Anybody who knows us says we do things together to bring glory to the Lord and work as a great team. We have 3 children. Andrew, our older son, works for Moody Distance Learning and the instructional quality aspect of Moody Distance Learning. They have 5 biological kids. I'll get my hand where you can see it. 4 of those are married. The 5th has a boyfriend. But they also have 6 adopted children, each of which, as they move from infant to older children, the reality of serious, beyond comprehension, emotional, psychological, neurological multiplicity of problems. No physical disabilities, but so many internal ones. So we provide support. That's the reason we moved to Bloomington. And my wife provides a lot of support after school just to help them get calmed down and ready to do responsibilities at home prior to supper. So their children range in age from 7 to 29. They have 4 married children and 3 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren for us. Our younger son, Stephen, joined the Army at age 39. Part of his early responsibilities in the Army was to go to law school at William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. He is a JAG officer currently stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, but he is deployed right now on a 9-month deployment to Afghanistan, where he serves as a JAG officer with a focus on helping military personnel deal with various legal issues, maybe a real estate transaction, it may be some papers that need to be notarized, it may be dealing with divorce, or the multiplicity of things. He really likes it, but 9 months away from your family is a long time. They hope that he will be home by Christmas. They have 6 children still living at home and 4 married children. They also have 3 grandchildren. So we have a large family. Oh, and we have our Esther Joy, our youngest. She also lives in Bloomington now with her 5 children. Her oldest is married. Her husband is an officer at Pontiac Correctional Center, a maximum security prison about 30 miles from Bloomington. Judy and I have served the Lord in Herman, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Pontiac, Illinois, Lindale, Texas, McHenry, Illinois, Burlington, Iowa. In 2008, I joined an organization called Interim Pastor Ministries and became an intentional interim pastor specialist and served the Lord in difficult circumstances in Garner, Iowa, Williston, North Dakota, Derby, Vermont, and Minonk, Illinois. As I work with a church, I seek to help the leadership wrestle with the question, why does Jesus want this church to exist this year and in the coming decade? It is not their church, it is His church, and to help them begin to move to see they are stewards of His church, not of their own church. It's a challenging opportunity, but one that brings honor to Christ. I really love to help equip people for ministry in the spirit of Ephesians 4:12, and I trust that this 8 weeks will be another significant chapter in your life as you grow to become all that God intends you to be. I've already posted a number of announcements, so please be careful to read those and keep on top of them. Normally I have an announcement on Monday, just before the coming week starts at midnight, and then on Friday as we're wrapping up the week. God bless you. Have a great day of worship this weekend with God's people, and I'll talk to you Monday.